Hola, I'm Lillian with Language Matters. And today I'm going to be talking about how we can learn tools from computational thinking to help us spice up our standard read aloud protocols in the K to 5 classroom, particularly when you have multilingual learners in your population, which so many of our classrooms do. And to do so, we're going to use a favorite book of mine called Hello, My Name is Octocorn. And as you might guess, an octocorn is a combination between a unicorn and an octopus. And as the story unfolds, which I'm not going to read to you today, we learn that Octi has a little trouble making friends in his classroom. And he goes through all the reasons why he would be a good friend, but there are certain moments when he feels like he just doesn't fit in, a theme that we can all relate to, and which is why it's a book I really recommend. That said, I'm going to invite you to think about reading comprehension as a problem solving space or a space for inquiry when you work with your learners in a read aloud. So you might wonder to yourself, what are problems that happen during reading a book with a student? You might say, there are certain words they don't know, technical language, for example. And a lot of times, especially with our multilingual learners, there's figurative language that stops them up. And they might get a literal understanding, but they're missing this other layer. Sometimes, and especially in the case of this book, they're missing some humor. So I'm gonna model for you 2 pages from this text, and I'm gonna be using computational thinking concepts to understand a little bit more about how we can move through the text. So early in the text, we see on this page, plus, if you ask me, unicorns are a little full of themselves. But back to me. And of course, the illustrator has octocorn sort of like going in front of the unicorn, right? And as adults, we understand why this is funny. He's talking about unicorns being self absorbed. And then, of course, he does an act that is self absorbed. So some of our students aren't going to understand the inference there or the play on words. So we might call that a bug. So in computer programming, we like to debug, persevere, try to come up with different solutions so that we can sort out what the problem is and continue along with our comprehension. So here we're going to use logic, which is to analyze and to use, I think of like a drop down menu. What are all of the repair strategies that when I'm a reader, when I don't get something or understand it? So we might look at the picture and we see here that the octocorn is coming right in front of the unicorn. That's one option in our algorithm of debugging to try and solve this. Another might be to use schema, right? He's saying they are full of themselves. Is that an expression that I've heard of before? Maybe not. Here's an algorithm for how I can sort out an unknown expression. I can ask my teacher. I can ask a classmate. Hop on the computer and type in full of self expression and see what I get, right? And then we know that we always, as good readers, go back to, okay, full of themselves, but back to me. Oh, I get it. He's making fun. He's being full of himself also. Okay, that's the joke. So, in that way, when we think in computational thinking terms, we have debugged or we have solved a comprehension problem so that we understand a part of this text in a little more of a layered way. That's one example. Let's go on to another part of the text right here. So octocorn has just gone on, and I can pull up here all of the different reasons. Right there. He doesn't get invited to the friend's birthday party. He's trying to explain that he likes jet skis. He's a good friend. And then we come to this double use of blue. Favorite color is blue, but sometimes I feel blue. So again, here's a bug. So we might go like an algorithm, our drop down menu. What can I do to help solve for this? I can look at the picture. I use my schema to know that his face looks sad. Maybe I've heard somebody say I'm feeling blue before. And so, through those strategies that your students ideally have been exposed to, they might be able to solve for or to better analyze and understand what's happening here with this character, right? So, in short, computational thinking can offer us literacy practitioners a number of ways to approach a read aloud from a fresh perspective. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.